Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, my name is Ella. I have a daughter who is 2 years old recently, and I am now pregnant with our second baby due in early September. I am making this video because I think for moms, especially moms who have not tried to conceive, like my husband and myself, that this whole 2-week wait window that people talk about when they are trying to conceive is kind of not something that we think about. Like, I wasn't waiting to see if I was pregnant because I was not trying. That being said, looking back now, I'm assessing, I guess, the symptoms that I had that could have led up to me being pregnant and what ultimately made me decide to take a pregnancy test. So we are going to go through all of those symptoms now, and I am also going to include the symptoms that are completely different than my first pregnancy. So one of the reasons I did not take a pregnancy test until I missed my period was because I really did not even think I was pregnant. It was nothing like my first. And I know that they say every pregnancy is different, and believe me, I believe them now. So if you are not sure if you are pregnant with your second or your third, just know that not every pregnancy does look the same. I'm going to give you a glimpse of the experience that I had in that 2-week wait window of the symptoms I had that led up before my missed period and positive pregnancy test. I did write down a couple of notes since I wasn't tracking every single day. I had to kind of sit down and really think about what it was that gave me that inclination to begin with, but also things that I might not have even realized were pregnancy symptoms. One of the first things that I did experience was waves of nausea, but that to me isn't really out of the normal. I get that very frequently before my period, and usually like a week or so before my period. So kind of like a week after that ovulation window, so I wasn't really at all concerned about that. I know for some women this varies significantly. Some women are extremely sick, some don't experience nausea at all. I was very lucky to not be nauseous in my first pregnancy. I had like small waves of like, ooh, my stomach doesn't feel great, but nothing where I was like over a toilet, and I got extremely blessed with that, and I really had a very smooth first trimester. I will say, at the time of filming this, I am 7 weeks pregnant, and I can tell you, again, pregnancies are different. It is definitely different than with my first, and I am okay with that because ultimately at the end of the day, you've got to go through it and it's not forever. There are some women who absolutely hate being pregnant. I am not one of those people. I really enjoy pregnancy even through its ups and downs, only because, like I said, you're not doing this forever. So it is just a small short window that you get to experience this, and as uncomfortable as it is to be nauseous, it's also reassuring that everything is still progressing as normal and that you still have pregnancy hormones, and it's not like a loss of symptoms, which is always scary in those first couple of weeks. The second thing that I can look back on and really notice that it was a little different is headaches. I did have some headaches when I was pregnant with Aviana, not as many as I'm having now. They are headaches to the point where I do have to take Tylenol, and I didn't really have those previously, but I am noticing that now. After I found out I was pregnant, my headaches did seem to increase more significantly, and I was sleeping through my headaches and waking up with my headache, which I really truly don't think there's anything worse than falling asleep with a headache and waking up and it has not gone away, because I like to sleep off headaches. So that was a little bit one that was frustrating for me, but we're getting through it. Luckily, I haven't had that bad of a headache in the past week, so I've been lucky with that. The other pregnancy symptom that I am having, or I should say that I've had, was a metallic taste, but not so much just in my mouth, more of like things smelled metallic-y and things tasted metallic. So I have read that that is a very common symptom, and this is a symptom I did not have with my first pregnancy. So this to me was piggybacking on when I had COVID, and I was like, this is from COVID, metallic taste is normal, like it'll go away. And it was so strong. Guys, I'm talking, I was not able to smell mustard, ketchup, vinegar, mayo, all of that was so off-putting, and I was like gagging from it. And I had not had any food aversions with my daughter when I was pregnant, so that to me was like a big weird thing. So yeah, so food aversion and just like metallic taste, things sounded disgusting. That was definitely a different symptom that I had before I even tested. And that was actually the one reason I decided to pick up a pregnancy test, is because it followed into my next symptom that I'm going to talk about, which was a heightened sense of smell. So the heightened sense of smell I did not get with my daughter. And that one I think that they say is like one of the most common too, is like you get a heightened sense of smell and things smell really pungent, and I did not have that with Avi at all. Like my sense of smell was completely normal. Taste was fine. Heightened sense of smell, I could smell things from like the basement that were upstairs, like my husband eating, not even like food cooking. I specifically remember the incident where my husband put mustard on a hot dog, and it wasn't even the hot dog that I could smell, it was the mustard, and it smelled like metal, and I was at the stairs coming into the house while he was sitting eating it. And I was like, oh my gosh, that is so repulsive. It was actually that very day that I ended up buying a pregnancy test from the grocery store, because my husband and I were on the phone and I told him how gross the grocery store smelled, and he then replied, "Everything smells disgusting to you." And then it kind of went in my head like, oh, that could be actually a symptom of pregnancy, because like I said, I didn't have that with my first. So to me, I was like, oh, the pregnancy symptoms that you have are the things that I have with my daughter. And I completely realized in that moment that a heightened sense of smell is also one of those. There are a few differences between this pregnancy and my last pregnancy. I did mention a couple of the ones that I am having with this pregnancy that I did not have with my daughter. However, there are two very, very big ones that I did not get this pregnancy, and I'm going to explain why I think my reasoning is behind that. So the first one is I did not get sore boobs. When I was pregnant with my daughter, that was the reason I took a pregnancy test, and I took that pregnancy test 2 days before my missed period. When I was pregnant with Avi, I could not even put on a bra. It was that sore. I have since then, because I kind of like was checking for that. Like after I bought the pregnancy test, before I took it, I was like, I can't be, my boobs do not hurt. And I was like literally feeling my boobs to see if there was any difference than when I normally feel them. And I just was like, I really don't think so. I have done research since then. And one thing that I have been reading, but can't always trust the internet, so you never know. If I'm wrong, just take this with a grain of salt. But I have read that in your second, third, whatever pregnancy after your first, your boobs do not get as sore, because your body is already like knowing what needs to happen, and it's not as drastic of a change. So I have read that like sore boobs or less soreness than your first is common. So that has given me peace of mind since I have taken a positive pregnancy test, since I have experienced miscarriage in the past. I am a little nervous about, a chance of miscarriage, but knowing that not being such a forefront symptom has given me a little bit peace of mind for that reason. Catching my breath, I'm sorry. The other thing that I experienced like almost instantly with Avi was fatigue. This pregnancy, I am now starting to feel it at this like 6-7 week mark, but I was taking 2 naps a day, I think, at like 4 weeks pregnant with Aviana. The reason I am self-diagnosing that I am not as tired is because I have a toddler. I'm always tired. Always. I could always nap. If you give me an opportunity to nap, I'm napping. However, I haven't been noticing that I'm as able to nap, I guess, so to speak, as I used to be. I am always tired though. I'm in bed by like 8 p.m. lights out. My husband has complained about it this past week. He's like, okay, babe, like when are we spending some time together? And I'm like, I'm sleeping. I am turning off the lights, putting on my essential oils, and going to bed. That is just what's happening. So that is something that I am now experiencing more so. Extreme exhaustion, as far as I really do now need to take a nap. There are some days I can't. And those days I sometimes am in bed by like 7. I like put Aviana down at 6:30 or 7 and I'm like skincare routine and I'm going to bed. So that is one thing that I will say I did not get right away like I did with my daughter in that 2-week wait where I was like sleeping so much before I even took a pregnancy test with my daughter the first time around. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, a little bit about some of the symptoms that I experienced before a positive pregnancy test, and maybe that you can relate to this. I hope this helps you out if you are thinking that you might be pregnant or not entirely sure. I have seen a couple of the moms that I do follow make a couple of these videos, but like I said, I was not tracking anything because I was not really waiting for anything. So taking a look back, these are the things that just stick out in my head that give me some clue to if I was pregnant or not. So thank you all so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed. If you are pregnant yourself or like this pregnancy content, please subscribe below and like this video, as I am 7 weeks pregnant and this will be out once I have announced. But there will be a lot of pregnancy content to come with the second baby coming soon. So we are due in September, probably early September. I haven't gotten my first scan yet, so we don't have an exact date, but that will be coming as well. So make sure you follow. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.